Okay, thank you, George.
Yeah, I'm George Lasky, I'm getting up again. I just want to say one thing. Mr. Condon, Hoss Condon, is one of the best counselors on the city council. He's an honest man, and I say, even though you disagree with him, and I disagree with you on this, Hoss, if I went out for something to eat afterwards, he wouldn't hold a grudge, and he's a great man. One thing I'd like to see that councilors do is have, like you do on the school committee and you do in other cities, have like a 15-minute, because I go to a lot of council meetings, have like a 15-minute or 20-minute session that people could get up and voice their opinion. And I wish the council would take that into consideration. And I think most of all the councilors do a great job, and Hoss has been on there for many years. I've been to many council meetings, and he's one of the hardest working councilors.
Hi, my name is Mark Bernard from West Border Road in Ward 3. I am the last house on West Border Road, which is just next to the park, and I am going to be dealing with trash bags that I'm picking up from people who dump there now in the future. Now, where do you propose I put them? Should I give them to Paul, or would you like them? Because I'm not paying $2 to pick up everyone else's trash that I do now.
Hey,
I have many points, Mayor.
oh,
Okay?
yep.
That was more rhetorical, actually. What you heard tonight here
What is rhetorical?
is the fact that people are very frustrated with the fact that there is no transparency in the city. I took notes here. I can't tell you how many times you said, I said this, I made this decision. You did not take into account anyone in this audience, their opinion of what they wanted. You admitted that yourself, that you didn't do that. You bungled this thing badly. I have been working with the city council to try to get more transparency in this system. I want to see jobs posted on the website. I also might add, the reason that the budget is on the website is because our leadership in the city council, Councilor Christensen, led the charge to get that budget put on the website. Check it out, folks. The information is there. It is postings, but the city council didn't want names on there. You can get it into the Freedom of Information Act. That's their answer to it. You guys work for us. Paul works for me. No one consulted me on this trash tax. And I'm calling it a trash tax because that's what it is. I'm looking for more transparency in the city, and I'm challenging every one of you to step up to the plate and provide greater transparency in this town. Finally, I heard everyone say that it's a done deal. It's not a done deal. This is an ordinance that was changed by the city council, and as such, that can be repealed by the city council. So, folks, call your city representative and tell them you don't want it. Finally, the reason that there are people outside with a petition drive is because you are so arrogant that you don't even want to listen to anyone's opinion. That's what's driving that petition drive. Now, you want to orate as you do, go right ahead, Mayor, but that's what I've come here to say. I've sat through your presentation tonight, and I've heard everything that you've said, and it's the same old stuff, but where's the transparency? And it starts with the public outreach that everybody in this room has been clamoring for, that you have said, I think this is best.
Yeah, if I said I on very many occasions, I guess it was probably with the intention to make sure that I was emphasizing the point that I initiated it. I wasn't trying to shy away from the responsibility of making the choice that was made rather than, again, maybe implementing cuts. So I apologize if I was overbearing on my involvement in the program, but I put it forth, and I was as transparent about it as I have been with every budget. Presented it to the council, explained what I think our situation was and the options that we had, choices that we had before us. There's a give and take there that happens every budgetary session. I, with financial people, take a look at what we have for needed expenditures. take a look at what we have for available revenue, try to make the best out of it as I can, present it, and go back and forth with the council over that period of time before the budget is passed. So nothing was any different than any other time as far as the budget is concerned. You know, I don't know what else can be done as far as
Transparency and other aspects of city government for developments up in your neighborhood. I was as
forthright, as community-oriented as I could be about what I wanted to see happen at the Malden Hospital site, for instance. Attended at least a half a dozen meetings up there, told people what it was that I would hope the city would try to accomplish with the reuse of that location, worked for it, and hopefully it'll still take place. But for initiatives like that throughout the city, when we started the program to build these schools, we held meetings in every corner of the community, try to inform people about the impact of the program. So on anything that I thought had certainly a community or a neighborhood relevance, I try to make myself as available as possible. I answer my phone, return my phone calls when they come in, and that's about as, I think, about as best I can do as far as the transparency issue.
I look forward to future efforts on that point, the transparency. And I think one area to start is to post positions on the website, as I have asked the City Council to do. And I'd like to hear your opinion on that.
Hiring, you mean, within?
Yes.
I don't, the school system, I believe, uses the standard mechanisms. They're the only entity that does the majority of hiring. Most of our employees are there, most of the retirements are there, and the fillings are there. So you see the standard ads that every community does, and the Boston Globe especially, and some educational publications. Could we put it on the website? I'm sure we could, and I'll be glad to deal with the school department on that. For every other department, fire and police, we're governed by civil service list, so there are no ads placed for those hirings. We call the list, they send us back the qualified candidates, we interview. For positions in City Hall, there aren't a lot of hirings. There have been retirements and backfillings in very few cases, but when a position does open up as a result of retirement, typically what is done is there's an internal posting. So if somebody already in a spot desires to shift to the position that's available, they're given a first preference, provided that they're qualified. And at the end of the line, if there's a
position that we still have a need for, then our HR department will advertise in the newspaper. Can we put it on the website? Absolutely. And the only other department that is left of any significance is DPW. Again, a civil service process there. You have to come down, take a number, and be interviewed for the position. Civil service sends us back some information on people that are qualified. So, I'm not saying that we don't hire people. There aren't a lot of positions that get filled. There's, very, very little turnover from year to year, and we're not hiring new people. As I tried to say earlier, we're living within the confines of what we have budget year to budget year. And I said it a couple of times already, I'll say it again, yes. We haven't added any new positions. We're 200 employees less from 1996 to 2009.
Well, I once again would suggest that any positions that you have in the city are made available, not outside of Karen's office, but in a place where the world looks at things, and that is on the internet. And I'm asking you please to do that as an effort, excuse me, Mayor, I am talking, as an effort to bring about transparency to the city. Secondarily, you guys did the budget and you approved the budget. Now, I work for the state. Sorry, folks, but I do. And what we do at the state, when we have a situation that's intractable, is we issue a 1/12 or 2/12 budget. Now, what's to say that we can't address the heat in this room, and obviously the heat that you had at the other school when you had the previous meeting, by taking a step back and dealing with a 1/12 or 2/12 budget that gets us through this time so we can have an open dialogue on what it is the city wants to do.